People, welcome to another edition of that finger-tapping frenzy that we all know and love as WWE SuperCard. With me, Big Jim, here at BadLadDad HQ. Now, a couple of things to talk about this evening. The main thing is I've got myself a King of the Ring winning team. I'm hitting a formula and it's working well for me. I've had 4 wins out of the last 5 KOTRs, so I'm going to collect some rewards today. But also I want to talk about the equipment cards that have come out. Be interested to get your views, some early views down below in the comments section. Find out your views on these equipment cards. I'll come to those later. We've just got to the end of Road to Glory team event. It's quite late here in the UK. It is, it's 5 to 11 in the evening, which is these days pretty typical time for me making videos because I'm a busy man. I'm a busy fella, even working from home. I'm a busy fella. Didn't quite realise how busy I was going to be, but I'm still here, choosing the vids. But Mr. Morrison has been grabbed and added to the growing BLD squad. If we just go into the cards, look at this colourful array. Isn't it colourful? This colourful array of cards. It never used to be this colourful when you were looking at your best cards, did it? It used to be this sort of a colour scheme running through, but now there's so many flipping additional cards you can get. Let's just go on to filters so you can see my WM36s. As you can see, I've got Taker and I've gone with that image. Just I've not seen too many people use that one. I quite like that one. Stands out from the rest and it's quite a nice shape. It's quite a nice shape. I like the aesthetics of that shape. I'm pleased to say that in among all the various pulls, the latest deck refresh pull got me the beautiful Bianca. She's my first single female in the WM36 tier. So hopefully she'll be the first step towards getting myself a nice female pro. But so far elusive on the female front. It's very much a bit of a stag do at the moment. A lot of fellas in there. But we'll see how we get on. We'll see how we get on as the weeks go on. Now, equipment cards. I'll just click in to the cards so you can see what I've got. As you can see, there's no WrestleMania 36 cards at the moment. Just some Rumbles and Vanguards. And of course, you poor people who aren't in WrestleMania 36 tier yet, you've got no use for these because they only work on the WM36 cards. But I just wanted to say a couple of things about these. Firstly, you do get a chance to pull them off the board. These have come from cards that I've pulled. Now, obviously, there was Road to Glory that we've just done. There's Team Road to Glory, where I got 300 odd points in amongst that lot. So I have been playing quite a bit over the weekend and today. And I have picked these cards from the board. So it is possible to get cards from the board if you're in WrestleMania 36 tier. But I have seen people with quite an awful lot. I think they've been investing in those £2 packs, which for me, that's a bit pricey. You're approaching sort of 17, 18 quid's worth of tokens there for what is ostensibly it's one equipment card. Now, don't get me wrong, they're going to be useful, very useful, especially in weeks to come. You'll see more of them. And I really love the idea as a concept. As a concept, I think it's a brilliant idea. I love it. What I don't love, though, is the aspect where you have to pay if you want to change the stat. So you have your original stat, and then you get the chance to add 2 more stats depending on playing a certain amount of games. And you unlock those stats as you go along. Now, if you just have a look in 45,500 charisma here, he said, completely clicking off it. If you tap the little icon there, you can see, okay, it's adding 45,500 charisma. But you then tap the little info button next to that, and it will show you some of the other stats that you could have had. Now, as you can see, in the scale of things there, the 45.5k charisma's actually not bad. That's quite a good one. So you wouldn't really want to change that. But if I wanted to, as you can see, I could shuffle that. And I think it starts at 50 is the first amount that you can spend to shuffle it. But if you don't like that stat and you shuffle it, and you don't like the next stat, you possibly get something worse. As you can see, if I did opt for a shuffle there, I'd very well stand a good chance of getting something worse. It then goes up to, I think, 75, and then it goes, I don't know what the scale is after that, but it basically, the only way you can do this is spending coins. Now, I don't care what the game is. I've always said I've no objection to games charging you for things within the game if there's some additional content that doesn't give you a ridiculous advantage over other people. There should be an option within a game, if you can buy something, that you can also earn it, albeit make it a ridiculous amount of grinding that you need to do to get to that particular reward or upgraded gear, whatever it is. But it should really be available to all. If you want to take the lazy approach and spend cash on it, you can, and that way the game could earn its money. But I still feel it should be open to people to be able to play for it. And that's not something you can do with these charisma cards. Okay, you might get your 2 gold tokens from your free pack every day, 2 gold credits, but you know, that's going to take you 25 days to get up to your 50 tokens just to do 1 refresh. And if you don't like it, well, you've wasted your tokens, haven't you? I'm just not a fan of something that you can only improve by spending what ostensibly is real money, because you've got to buy the tokens with something, haven't you? So I'm not so happy about that, but I am happy about the cards. And what I would say to you is, because you can swap these cards around, you can stick them on whoever you want from WrestleMania 36 tier, just make sure they're all active. As you can see, if I shouldn't do it this way. If I just quickly skim through these cards, you can see every single card at the moment is actually assigned to somebody. And all of these people that they're assigned to, bar 1, is in my King of the Ring team. So they're constantly playing, constantly chiselling away these matches. I've been doing all of this. I've said this before. I meant to wear reading glasses, but to be quite honest, a pain in the rear end. Don't like them. Anyway, what you can do, obviously, is these may not at the moment necessarily be the right cards, right equipment cards within the right individual characters cards. But what I'm doing is obviously just training the cards up. Once you've got the card to its best ability, actually I think I've just passed what I consider this to be the best card at the moment, because if you have a look on this trigger, you can see 7%. Now, how did I get up to 7%? Was I lucky? No, I wasn't. As you can see, that's the one where I started spending some coins on it. And then I thought, oh, what am I doing here? What am I doing? Because I think that was like 3 attempts. So perhaps it was 50, 100, 150, and then 200 would be the next one up. You could end up spending an absolute fortune on these things. But anyway, the important thing is, if you've got some, you're in WrestleMania 36 tier, just make sure they're all in use, get them all powered up as quickly as you can, and then you can decide, once you've seen what stats you've got, which card it suits best. Obviously what I've gone for there is the procking, but it adds 12% trigger to Edge's proc, so to his ability, sorry. So that is a very useful stat to have, particularly in a King of the Ring, where at the moment, as we speak, Edge is obviously the top card. Anyway, that's the equipment cards. I don't know about your views on it. Be interested to hear your views. Like I say, I really like the idea. It's a great idea, and it certainly makes King of the Ring more interesting, because you're not quite sure what your opponents have got, if they're rocking anything. I mean, you can see, if we go back into the cards themselves, you can see who's got the card in, because look at the top row, fellas. You can see the underneath the star, you can see the little red gem in some cases. It's a little gold gem. That's the Vanguard. Red's the Royal Rumble. Like I said, I don't have WrestleMania 36 card. Can't show you what that looks like. But anyway, that's my thoughts on that. It's and all of these guys, as I mentioned, are in King of the Ring at the moment. But enough of that. Enough of that. It was kind of praise with a bit of a moan thrown in. I like to throw a little moan in now and again. Or in fact, I like to throw a moan in a lot of the time. But I can't moan about this. King of the Ring, very happy. I've got another win. As I say, I've got a winning squad. It was tight in the final. For the first 3 matches, 3-2 wins for me each time. I do like to move the squad about a bit. My King of the Ring team is all blue arrows left and right, so that makes it a lot easier, obviously, if you want to be shuffling people about. So just keep it within the 2 compatible arrows. Anyway, let's see what we get. Possibilities of a pro? Don't know. Let's see what we've got. Notice it's a bit jaggedy on screen there. It's not quite as smooth. Hope it doesn't affect what's going to happen here. Right, 25 picks, make a Lynch. Cesaro I've got as a pro, so that'll, I don't think he's fortified, so that'll be an F1 for him. And, which coffee have I got? I think Mark Coffee is the one I've got. I do apologise, I can see myself. I'm looking at my iPad here, it's all nice and smooth and beautiful graphics. It's just looking a bit juddery on screen there. Never mind, you get the gist. You can see what's happening. I think that could be a pro. It could be a pro. Let's have a look. I want to find out that way. Now, actually, no, we won't. Sorry. Talking to myself in my head, not talking to you. It's not a good way of making videos, is it? Talking to myself in my head. Not much use to you. Having a conversation with myself is not entertaining, and so much so now I've forgotten what I was going to do. Right, filters. Everything's moved, doesn't it? Combinable, there you go. So WrestleMania 36 is in there. Mark Coffey it is, so I'm pleased to say he's already done, so I can get working on him. Sadly, he is a yellow down arrow, which means I probably won't get to use him in King of the Ring. I've got another, Roderick Strong's a yellow, I think he's a yellow up. Yellow up. I suppose I could use them as just one compatible pair. What am I thinking of? What am I doing here? Yeah, Rodders is a yellow up. But then that would mean I wouldn't be able to move them around. They'd be stuck as a pair. Or I'd have to move the 2 of them down into the single matches, which I wouldn't particularly want to do. Anyway, look, it's good news. I've got myself a pro. Happy days. Happy days. Don't really need to open that right now. What else is going on? Right, we've started a new team battleground, which was an hour and a half ago by the looks of things, and I think we're all powered up. We seem to have made a rocking start there. Let's have a look. I think it's looking pretty good. I myself am powered up to the 9s, and I think I'm fighting the top 3. So let's have a look, see if we've I've not even powered up. They've not even powered up. Well, I don't know about him, Lionel Messi. I don't think. Well, here you go. Happy days. Happy days. I must say, it's totally down to you. But if you come across that kind of scenario yourself, and your team's obviously going to win, you might think, well, I don't even have to do my matches. I always feel though it's kind of feel obliged to still do the matches. Like even if we get ourselves in a scenario where we can see we're not going to win. Because you'll get that where maybe someone for some reason couldn't fully power up and they can't beat their opponent or what have you. But I always do like to try and just do all my matches, because I just feel that shows a good commitment to the team if you do that. So I probably don't need to do these, because if 2 of my people haven't powered up and they're 2 out the top 3, I can imagine that they probably made a team decision that it wasn't worth bothering with. But I'm going to bother. I like to bother. I like to get on with it. So we'll just do a bit of this. So yeah, equipment cards. Well, actually, I don't know if I should be doing some of this, because it's just not looking good on screen. Like I say, all I can do is apologise. I don't know why. You use Air Server normally to get the signal from my iPad to the screen, to the MacBook there. I can see it's got a bit of a delay on it as well. You know what? It's now waiting on a network. I think everything's coming to a halt. Right, I'm a card ahead of you here. I've already seen the Miz just arrive. I don't know why this is so bad. Tell you what I'm going to do. There he goes. Better late than never, lad. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stop there, and I'm going to quickly cut out of it, and then see if I can just sort out what the hell's going on with this signal. And if I can't, I'll say goodbye. So just hang on. Sorry, people. I can only think it's something to do with this. They're trying to free up a lot of the internet airwaves for people and cables, because I know everyone's sitting at home not doing an awful lot apart from streaming videos, watching videos, playing video games, etc, etc, etc. Whether that's having an effect, I don't know, but our Wi-Fi's been pretty slow for a couple of days now. Ninja's had trouble getting onto Rocket League, which has delayed our plans on that front a bit. And yeah, the lag is terrible between my iPad and the MacBook, so I've decided to call a halt, because it's no good me talking about things that are happening and you're not seeing it until 20 seconds later, and it's all like, don't work like that. So I want to go and play my guitar instead. I would plug it in and play you a tune, play you something, but as I mentioned, it's 11 o'clock in the evening, so I don't think it would go down too well. I suppose I could play it without plugging it in, couldn't I? It's that kind of stuff, a bit of Jimi Hendrix. Do that kind of thing. Or I could just go away. So thanks ever so much for watching. Sorry about that. I sort of at a loss to know what to do. I suppose I could just go away and start trying to power up my Mark Coffee card and get myself that Pro. Thanks ever so much for watching. You know the drill. I'll try and make the next one a bit more exciting than what you've just seen. But you know what it's like. You know what it's like. If the technology doesn't want to know, there's not much I can do about it. Thanks ever so much for watching. Let me know what you think of equipment cards down below and what I was saying. I'm still not happy about the fact that you've got to use coins. It's the only way you can start shuffling what you've got. But they are very useful when it comes to King of the Ring. So I'm pleased for the win. It's all the usual shouts, people. If you like what you see, bang us a like. Don't forget to subscribe and you'll see some more of this. Unplugged. Big Jim Unplugged, which is how I like to stay. And, of course, there's all the social media. There's Twitter, there's Facebook. I really don't know what I'm talking about anymore. But thanks ever so much for watching. Till I see you next time. You stay cool.
People say to me all the time, "Hey, Johnny Wrestling, what does it take to become a winner?" To those people, I say, try watching BadLadDad's latest video. He'll show you just what it takes to become a WWE SuperCard champion.